Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. It's Friday. So when we started this week, it wasn't great news for the Missouri State baseball, basketball teams, respectively. Then the Bears started coming through a little bit, baseball that is. Then the Lady Bears started to come through a little bit. Has that changed for the men?
No, it has not, unfortunately. Lost last night, another game, another of the myriad of games. This is 6 straight losses now. And in every single one of them, the Bears have had their chances to win, including last night. Back and forth, and then critical mistakes down the stretch, turnovers, things like that. And the final score is 72-70. Louisiana Tech wins the game, 72-70. And they win it, Mike, on a play in which the player went in for Louisiana Tech for a layup and missed it. Ball caromed off, and the following Tech player put it back in. Now, wait a minute. Where were the Bears? Why weren't they right there for the rebound? See, it's just a matter of little tiny facets of the game that you follow through and are part of and all that sort of thing, and it just isn't there for them. They're making those critical mental mistakes, and Louisiana Tech won 72-70. They won the previous game up here in Springfield in double overtime by 1. So in the 2 games they played, the margin of victory has been 3 points. Come on. Anyway, it was a tough one to swallow, and the Bears do lose their 6th in a row. It's going to break sometime, and hopefully when it does, it breaks for the best.
Do you think this is a time together problem, coaching problem?
You know, I really can't. I can't say.
You see what I'm getting at?
I know exactly what you're aiming at, but by the same token, I don't know because I don't know what the player's psychology is. I will tell you this: when you get into a losing streak like that, subconsciously,
it's tough to get yourself out of that.
And you're saying to yourself subconsciously, "How are we going to lose this one?"
Well, it seems that the Lady Bears are doing a little bit better, right?
Well, they did. They came away with a win. We'll talk about that. Lady Bears ran Florida International out of the Great Southern Bank Arena 69-38. 38. Lady Douglas had 20 points, and defense was the big key here because the Lady Bears smothered Florida International in the 3rd period. Women's basketball is played in quarters. In the 3rd period, Florida International scored 4 points. 4 points. That was it. And the Lady Bears win by a lopsided margin, 69-38. Big win for Missouri State on the ladies' side.
Absolutely, and like I said when we started this conversation, baseball Bears also doing better too.
They are indeed. Now, there's been a change in this weekend schedule. It begins today. The Bears will play Little Rock. And now you say, who? Well, it used to be called the University of Arkansas Little Rock, UALR. But they've dropped that part of it now, as many of the schools associated with the city have done. So it's Little Rock now. They'll be up here. The Trojans, they play a single game tomorrow, but then instead of one Saturday, one Sunday, they're playing a doubleheader on Saturday because the weather conditions do not appear to be amenable to baseball on Sunday. So it'll be a single game followed by a doubleheader on Saturday. Pretty good competition.
You going to get out and see some baseball this weekend?
I will indeed, yep.
Weather's looking perfect for it, especially through tomorrow, and then he's back inside for a few days. So we talked about the Bears and their issues on the court. How about the Panthers? How are they doing right now?
Well, this last night was their final home series. They call it senior night over there, and all of seniors, I should say, on both teams were honored. Drury played Missouri St. Louis, and these were big games. That's a conference game, of course. And the Lady Panthers, in a big win, outscored Missouri St. Louis, otherwise known by their acronym UMSL, 93-80. That was a very big win. Then the Drury Panthers, who have been in something of a slump but have played relatively well at home, came out and defeated UMSL by a score of 76-70. A really good win. 2 good wins for Drury in their final home game. Now they close the season on Saturday tomorrow up at Rolla, Missouri S&T. Then it's on to the conference championship, assuming that they qualify, and I think they will. So the conference championship is in St. Louis to be hosted by Missouri St. Louis, and that'll be all coming up the latter part of next week.
So we've got number 1 women's basketball team in the nation, UConn. They're still number 1.
Number 1, and the winning streak is now 46 consecutive games. 46. Now, I'm going to amend that comment here for a second. They did defeat Georgetown, they being Connecticut, 84-52 last night. Connecticut has won most of its games by lopsided margins. They're a very, very, very good basketball team, but they are also playing in a league that is pretty doggone weak. The Big East Conference is way down. In fact, Connecticut has won, get this, Mike, 66 consecutive conference games. 66 of them. They own that league. And it used to be, and still is in some respects, a reputable league. They have Villanova and Georgetown and Seton Hall and schools of this nature. But Connecticut absolutely dominated them, and it is not a real strong league. When they get into the tournament and start playing the LSUs and Texas and Southern Cal, Tennessee, schools of this nature, I think you're going to see really competitive games. The Connecticut Lady Huskies, Gina Wariama's team, ends its regular season on Sunday night. Sunday night they'll play St. John's, and that'll be down in New York City. So it'll be interesting to see when they get to the tournament exactly what happens. They have a conference tournament first, and then, of course, the NCAA.
So we've got the Olympics, of course, are over now, and National Hockey League getting back to business. A lot of teams starting the last few days. Blues back on the ice.
Well, the Blues were. They opened up their second portion of their season last night, played the Seattle Kraken, and, of course, the Canadiens goalie is also the Blues goalie, Jordan Binnington, and he was spectacular last night. Seattle Kraken get beaten by the St. Louis Blues 5-1. The Blues haven't won a whole lot of games this year. 21 of them, have 28 losses. Getting to the Stanley Cup playoffs is going to be a bit of a challenge, but there are still plenty of games to go, and hopefully that will work out in St. Louis's favor. But last night, big one for the Blues, 5-1.
Love to see it, and those are, like I said, when they can come out, they just got to hold on. As long as they can hold on, then they get the dub. Ned, have a great weekend. Stay warm, and I will see you on Monday.